Hey everybody! In this video I am going to talk about analogous color schemes and how to blend our colors from one end of the scheme to the other. So first off, when we're talking about analogous colors, those would be a group of 3 to 4 colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. So an example could be red, red-orange, orange, and yellow-orange. Or we could move to the other side of the color wheel and do blue-green, blue, blue-violet, and violet. Or we could have even kind of a mix of cool colors and warm colors and have something like yellow-orange, yellow, yellow-green, and green. So let's talk about mixing our analogous colors. So I'm starting with mixing primaries. So instead of red and blue, I'm using magenta and cyan. Those are just like printer colors basically. So like the ink cartridges you have for printers, they just make brighter, more vibrant mixes than traditional red and blue. But let's go, I don't know, why don't we start with yellow, yellow-green, green, blue-green. We'll work with that first. So whenever we're mixing with a color, we want to start with the weaker color because it's usually easier to mix colors that way. So I'm going to start with yellow just because the blue will take over the yellow a lot faster. So I'm just going to make a little swatch of yellow, and then in the middle of my palette I'm going to take just a dot of blue and mix it in, and I'm going to start kind of adding that on top of it. So I'm just kind of layering a little bit and going back and forth over that line, and that's going to kind of blend the colors together. And I'm just slowly going to add more and more blue to my mixture. So I'm doing this really gently and really subtly so that I don't overdo it. It makes it easier to blend that way. And one thing I'm noticing is that I still have a lot of yellow on the end of my brush and on the top of my brush. So to get to the more of the blue, I'm going to kind of scrape off some of that extra paint there. That is going to give me a little more blue to work with as I get towards the end of my spectrum here. Alright, so there's one analogous color scheme. How about we work on the warm end, and we'll do kind of a similar technique. So I'm just going to start with some magenta, and I'm just slowly going to add some yellow into that. So one thing you're going to notice is that it's going to take a long time to get to a brighter yellow when we're using magenta, because magenta is stronger than yellow. So I'm going to, a little earlier, scrape off some of that extra and go add in more straight yellow to begin with. And that's going to help kind of speed up the process a little bit. Alright, and to finish with our analogous color schemes, I think I'll do one that's kind of between primaries, so where we'll end up using all three. We don't have any violet on here, so maybe we'll start with a red-orange and then make our way over to violet. So I'm going to start with my yellow. Kind of the key here is to keep those primaries separate so you don't accidentally mix them all together. So I'll start with my red-orange, and I'm going to add more magenta. And at this point I'm going to need to wash out my brush so that I don't end up accidentally contaminating my primaries. We'll dry it off really well. So we'll add in that magenta. And from there, we're going to start adding in our blue. So there's kind of a quick change there, so I'm going to wash my brush out again and put some straight magenta over that, just to help give us a smoother transition. That's better. Okay. All right, so there you have it, a few analogous color schemes, so colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel. They seem to be similar in nature. Thanks for watching.